we got to talk about what's left behind in Brooklyn, and that is this guy right here in Kevin Durant. Where do you think they go from here with the Nets?
This one's a
Kevin
tough
Durant?
one because I think it's hard to say that you have a contender when you've only got one superstar, where we see other rosters have multiple superstars. I'm not talking about just stars. I'm not talking about really good players. I'm talking about superstars. So they're in a tough spot because you can look down the roster and you can say, okay, if Ben Simmons can give us a little bit of production on offense, play some defense, we know that he's a really good player. You got Spencer Dinwiddie back, who's shown us that he can be a very good player in the NBA. You got some guys, but are you really going to be a contender? It's a question that you ask. And to me, I'm going to say no. It might be time to blow the thing up. It might be time to start from scratch.
I am with JP, and specifically for Kevin Durant, who really has the leverage here at this point. He asked for the trade earlier this season. Him and the Nets came together and said, all right, we'll figure this thing out. And now that Kyrie, the guy that he bet on, has asked out and got that trade, Kevin Durant has 4 years left on his deal at $44, $47, $51, and $54 million remaining. Kevin Durant is no spring chicken, right? This guy's 34 years old. At the end of this deal, he's going to be 38 years old. And for a guy that is closing in on the latter half of his career, you don't want to waste your time in a situation where you can't win. So if I'm KD, I'm looking at this trade deadline like, hey, man, if this is what it's going to be, find me a trade partner and get me somewhere where I can win, because I'm 34 years old and I don't want to just spend here not being able to at least make an Eastern Conference Finals.
Yeah, I mean, and Ben Simmons is not the guy to help him get there.
No.
I mean, although I think, Curry and Dinwiddie, they're good in the backcourt. I think they have a lot to bring to the table, but I mean, they're not like Kyrie, right? But let's talk, potential landing spots for KD. You say, okay, if you're KD, you want to go somewhere else, where would be a good spot?
All right, you have to have one
that could actually happen.
You have to have a team that has the salary cap space.
Right.
I think that's the biggest part here. We were talking about it earlier in the year, teams that had cap space and that had the pieces, the assets to make that move. Obviously, Phoenix is one that people are looking at. They have a young superstar in Devin Booker. When he's healthy,
right,
he's one of the best in the business, and has some young wings to go along with him. So I would look there. If the Chicago Bulls wanted to blow up what they were doing and say, hey, we'll package something together to get KD in here, maybe. But there's no great fit.
And that's the thing that usually when you ask this question, something jumps out. Like we were talking about when Kyrie requested the trade, we all kind of said, wouldn't Dallas be an interesting spot? Like that one initially jumped out to us because we felt like they were one piece away from really being a team that could do something. Now, the question still remains whether they can get it done. We'll talk about that. But to me, I don't feel that answer that just jumps out. I like what you said, Russ, about the Suns, but I'm not exactly sure it's going to happen like that.
What about the Celtics?
Well,